Hello and welcome everyone to this week's episode of Tiny Table Talk for The Challenge Season 35, Episode 5. Now we have a lot to cover, so let's start off this week's episode by talking about Wes has his hands full this season with rivalries and being called out. Coming into the season, he wanted to play a dead possum kind of game, but that just isn't shaking out as he's been called out so many times and it's only been 5 episodes. He was called out by Asaf in episode 1, called out by Ashley last episode, and then now he has his hands full dealing with a rivalry with Jordan and a semi-rivalry with Josh. Luckily, he put some other rivalries, past rivalries, behind him, like the ones with Bananas and the one with Bear is done with, as they are seen a lot conversing with one another throughout this season so far. So now he's dealing with Jordan and Josh, and the one with Josh is really kind of adds brevity and a little bit of comedy to the episodes. The one with Jordan actually feels like a real distaste for each other, as we saw them get face to face with one another in the kitchen, and that's when Wes takes a shot at Jordan and Tori's relationship by saying, "You can't talk to me the way you talk to your wife." This rivalry is getting heated, and it's heated up quickly. Both Jordan and Wes feel as though they are the smartest people to be in any room, and to put those two alpha male types together, and they're going to explode on each other one time during this game, and it's going to keep happening until one or both of them are going to be out of this game. Which will come first? Who knows? And I feel as though Wes has this like tank of sarcasm and wanting to get into word battles with people that he doesn't know what to do with it once it's full. Normally he can drop it on like Bananas and some other rivals throughout the seasons, but because him and Bananas are together now and actually forming an alliance, he has to put it somewhere. So he's dropping it all on Jordan. Jordan is taking it and then giving it right back to Wes, that these two people are going to be going at each other, and this rivalry is going to hit a very big peak, and it's going to be very explosive. The most anticipated kiss coming into the season has happened. We saw Bear and Kailah have a cheeky kiss in the bathroom of the challenge bunker this past episode. Now, before this season was even announced months ago, something that was put on Bear's Instagram, everyone put together that Bear and Kailah were on very, very, very friendly terms. Jump a little bit forward in time, a couple of months, to when the super trailer had dropped and we see the Bear and Kailah kiss happen right in front of our eyes. Well, that sparked a lot of tension and a lot of criticism from fans towards Kailah because of her cheating ways against Mikey. Now jump to this past week's episode, and Mikey took to social media to drop a message to all the fans to saying about their relationship, that about how Mikey feels as though that it was amazing. He had an amazing time within the relationship. This all happened 5 months ago, and he wishes Kailah the best. I, for one, do not condone cheated. I've been cheated on before in my past relationships. I don't condone it. I don't think it's ever really truly right at any point. It's slimy, it's grimy. Given the criticism towards Kailah, I feel as though Bear should also get his criticism, as well as he had announced on the episode that he too had a girlfriend back home, and he's had no qualms or did not hesitate to start hitting on Kailah. Is it because Bear has cheated on a ton of his past relationships and partners, and we just grown to know and acknowledge that Bear just does that, so we don't want to criticize them? Is it because Kailah and Mikey's relationship was out there in the open on social media and so public? What I will say though is I feel as though things happen for a reason. And even though I don't condone cheating, I feel as though this may be the perfect thing for everybody involved in the situation. We don't know what Kailah and Mikey P relationship was behind closed doors. Bear is gonna always be Bear. Mikey seems like he's doing his best to get by, and Kailah is looking like she's having a great time with her new beau and Englishman Sam Bed from Love Island and X on the Beach Peak of Love. They're even doing YouTube videos so you can see how well they're doing. You can check in on them. It's the elimination everyone is talking about, and yet it only lasted 5 minutes on our TV screens. That's right, Rogan got his way in getting a physical elimination against his quote-unquote rival, Jay. And this physical elimination is called Fireball. First of all, Balls In, I want to say, is a great classic challenge game. No need to spice it up by putting the ball on fire. I get it. You want to make this challenge season totally insane and totally mad. No need to make it all hokey by putting the fireball pitch on it. That seems dumb to me. I didn't like it. You might like it. I didn't feel like it added anything to the game except for people wearing these like long giant mechanic onesies. And finally, we get to see Rogan get into his first elimination, albeit it's a guy half his size and half his weight. But I mean, that's exactly what Rogan wants. He wants that matchup. So he got his way, he got his matchup, and my goodness, it does not look good for Rogan coming into this elimination. Throughout this whole episode, he's talking about how it's personal. I want to go into the elimination and I want to put a hurting on him so people think that, oh, I don't want to go up against Rogan in another elimination. He hurt Jay. So leading into this and saying all that and then having the outcome the way it is doesn't look good. I think it's really, really tough to watch, and I've watched this episode 2 or 3 times. It's really, really tough to watch him spin Jay around, crush him, put his hand on the back of Jay's head to get up and squish it into the sand. And I watched Swaggy C and Bailey's YouTube video about the elimination and how they said that while Jay was on the ground writhing, Rogan was sitting there talking trash to him still, saying that there was more where that came from. I like what one person said on Twitter about it and said that it was like a middle linebacker crushing a kicker, hurting them, and then getting up and celebrating it. I agree with that assessment. Now, I've seen a lot of comments on what people think about this elimination, that they think that Rogan did it on purpose, wanted to hurt Jay, went into the elimination on the intent of hurting Jay, wants him DQ'd if Jay is being DQ'd. Other people are saying that, hey, this is a headbanger and this is what they signed up for. Whatever side you are on, I think we can all agree that we do not ever want to see an elimination end this way. We want to see fun eliminations. We want to see good matchups. We want to see tough wins. We don't want to see people get seriously injured and possibly being sent home on a medically DQ'd and possibly being hurt for a longer period of time than just saying a broken arm. And now it's time to say the top 3 men and women from this week's challenge episode 5 of Total Madness. And we're going to start with the females this week. And at number 3, we have Nany. She is very, very clever, keeping an eye out on Wes and Bananas, calling them out, saying that she knows that something is up between them and that they may be in an alliance together. Now, I will say that she is friends with both of them. So if she doesn't know for sure if they're working together, they are keeping a very, very solid secret. At number 2, we have Kaycee getting into her second tribunal and getting another confessional. That's like 2 this season. Congrats for her. And at number 1, we have Jenna. We get to see her talk to Zach, which was kind of a bore fest, but she's trying to be a good friend to her friend Kailah, giving her a little bit of chat about what Kailah wants, about the whole Bear situation, being there for her, being a supporting system, whether she wants to stay with Mikey or be with Bear. I thought it was really, really nice, and I feel as though everybody could use a Jenna in their life. Now let's go over to the top 3 males of this episode, and at number 3, we have Bear for getting a cheeky kiss in the bathroom. At number 2, we have Nelson running like the Flash, doing his best Usain Bolt impersonation, and he's got that, like, perfect running form. It was fantastic. He looked like he was going the speed of sound, I'll tell you right there. And at number 1, we have everybody in the bunker eating that giant sausage. My gosh, where did production get this giant sausage? It's humongous. I go to the grocery store and I see that like pretty decent one. It's like a kielbasa or whatever, but that thing is like 5 feet long. My goodness. And now let's get into some of the comments from my Thursday video of this week's challenge episode. And we're going to start off with Christina M, who says, this episode pissed me off. Jay didn't deserve to be voted in a 3rd time. He's proven himself twice already. I'm so happy TJ called them out on playing a scared game because it's pathetic. I'm also so tired of the Rogan and D storyline. He generally doesn't care about her and was just using the kiss as an excuse to go in against Jay. Also, the fact that D voted Jay in just rubbed me the wrong way. I completely agree with you on this comment, especially the part about D voting in Jay. where was this? This is like episode 2 or 3. She's talking about how she's really liking Jay, wants to get to know him, wants to not vote him in, and then votes in bananas. And now all of a sudden she's like all in with keeping Rogan's favorite buddy in the game and is voting Jay right in. I mean, one kiss and then she's throwing him away to the wayside. The next comment comes from KD210. 100% agree on the 90 minutes thing. The challenge became unwatchable when they started needlessly dragging everything out, which is why they went to 90 minutes in the first place. So annoying. I completely agree. I hated this cliffhanger. There's 90 minutes. There's enough time to cut out all this garbage so we can see what happens to Jay this week. This takes me back to like Final Reckoning days where they used to have an elimination in the middle of the episode and it was like sandwiched in between needless drama. It was so weird, and now I'm really worried about whether this is going to throw off the whole eliminations. Are we going to get an elimination next week as well with the ending of this one, or are they gonna just double in to the daily challenge and then we're gonna keep pushing out the eliminations at the top of each episode? I really hope it's not the latter. I hope it's the former. Next comment comes from Clay Pineda. Positives: I felt as if more than 3 people were in this episode, unlike past episodes, which is a good thing. Yes, I agree. Negatives: I think the daily challenges are going for a more badass look, but aren't actually that exciting to watch. I will agree with you on this one. The Bomb Squad was a fun in concept kind of way, and they had that cool thing about the car driving on 2 wheels. However, it was kind of lackluster after that point. Like, you have a good player 1 part, and then the rest of it's kind of like, meh? I mean, the third person in that code breaker, the decoder person, has literally nothing to do. It's essentially somebody writing down the equation, doing a math equation, which half the people couldn't even get right. Then you run to somebody and all they have to do is take the numbers and decode. That's like a 3rd grade decoding station with colors. And then that person just runs. I mean, the person coming from the math problem normally did the decoding for the person instead of the actual person. Like, essentially a whatever kind of job in that daily challenge, and then the bomb explodes. There was a lot more running in this daily challenge than actual cool stuff happening. The next comment comes from George Ramos, who says, if you really think about it, Corey could be playing the best game in the house right now. He is actually playing possum. I agree. He's playing what Wes wanted to play, and that is playing possum. He is not bringing in anything. Nobody's suspicious of Corey. Nobody's weary of his game. He's playing a really good game. He's been in the tribunal twice. Congratulations to Corey. And I mean, he's doing really, really well. There's no suspicions on him whatsoever, and he could make it pretty far into this game, I feel. Johnny Talk Sports says, Angel Cake, do you think if Josh would have voted in Wes, would Swaggy C and Kaycee have followed suit? I'm surprised they voted in Rogan, considering the elimination was designed for Rogan to win anyway, and I thought that the BB20, Josh and Jay had some CBS alliance that we didn't know about. See, I feel as though Wes would not have been voted in regardless if Josh started the vote out by voting in Wes, and this is why. On Swaggy C and Bailey's video, they talked about how Wes and Bananas were their main alliances in the house. And if Wes doesn't want to go in, they're not going to send Wes in. That's like 2 friends putting 2 friends against each other. They're probably working with Jay. Jay's a friend, and then they're working with Wes. So if that's the case, they're not going to send those 2 against each other. I also think that if Rogan wants to go in and Nelson and Wes don't want to go in, then they'd rather send in Rogan to not burn another bridge. They wouldn't vote in either Nelson because it seems as though Fessy is working with Corey and Nelson, and so that means Swaggy C could be working. As we saw, also Wes was working out with Nelson and Corey, so there could be an underlining alliance throughout those multiple players. So saying all that, I think regardless of if Josh would have put his vote on Wes, everybody else would have voted in Rogan. And we have a bonus comment from Elza Eliza, who says, I read that next episode there isn't going to be an elimination because of the ending. Just hope they are not going to drag it out like War of the Worlds. Please. This is what I was afraid of. This is my nightmare. Don't let this happen, MTV. Just give us eliminations and finish them at the end of every episode. Don't do this. Don't give me a whole episode. If they're saying that a whole 90 minutes will go by and we don't get an elimination, I will be fuming. I will be so upset. But I guess we have to wait and see what exactly happens in next week's episode. But that's it for Tiny Table Talk for this week's episode. What'd you think about this episode? Let me know that in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about my comments, and what do you think about the whole Jay and Rogan situation? What do you think about the D kiss and D voting in Jay now? Let me know that in the comment section below. And what do you think about the whole Kailah and Bear situation? Do you feel as though that things happen for a reason, or do you think that it's still grimy and slimy and it's just not a good look? Let me know that in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really soon with more challenge content, brief histories, top 10s, top 5s, fantasy cast videos, much more. Also join me on Thursdays for The Challenge Season 35 Total Madness review and recaps, Survivor review and recaps, and join me next week on Friday for another Tiny Table Talk for The Challenge Total Madness. But until then, peace.